guys, I just wanted to share, if you guys have questions today while we're in the chat right now, I woke up this morning. Sorry, my ear is itching. Oh, I feel like a dog. I need my leg up here scratching. Is I woke up this morning, and every day is exciting when we wake up and we get to fill orders, and then all of a sudden, this was unexpected this morning, but I thought I'd share this with you guys. Hi, Keystone. How are you? So I wanted to share this with you. If you guys are not familiar with me, my company is Paws Herbal Labs, and I'll show you this right here. Let me find this. So this is my company right here, you guys. And we do holistic wellness for pets. And our goal here is to bring everybody an option to actually be, hi, April. I was going to call you to say, how do I do this, April? Oh my God, this is all new. I've got 2 computers going and all that. So anyway, so I woke up this morning and I just wanted to share this with everybody. And it's really exciting because since we started the company, we've been helping pets across the United States. We work with independent pet stores. So not the big brands, but the real independent family-owned stores, because we find that they really, really care. And so we are doing that with our pet stores, with independent pet stores, bringing wellness for pets. So we've created this alternative wellness for your pet. So if you get tired of having to go to the vet every single time and it's just a common issue that their pet's having, you have a solution now. And what's nice about our solution, it's all organic, it's all holistic, it's all natural, and you can't go wrong with it. It's not harmful or anything like that. It's not a Western medicine where it's toxic. And now okay, April, we'll talk later. Hope you're doing well. Nice to see you, April. Anyway, so I woke up this morning and I was getting ready to start my live this morning and start filling orders, which we do every day. We fill them, we bring them to the post office, they get delivered to the pet parents across the United States. But when I woke up this morning, something was unusual. Usually we have a few of these, and these are our orders here, right? So we have a few of these and we put them on our desk over here, and then we order. But this morning I woke up, oops, and that broke. And you see, it's just we have tons and tons of orders this morning, and we're so excited. So I thought I'd take this time. I mean, you see, it just keeps going. So I thought I'd take this time and I would share with you guys as I'm filling the orders today. I'll take this time and actually just talk about what I'm filling at the time. The first thing I always do is I break apart the order. So I put them in order so that I can start pulling the product. So most of these orders have one formula on it, and then the other orders have several formulas on it. And so all I'm doing right now is I'm just ripping apart the order and the packing slip so that I can separate those so that we can start pulling the product. And once we pull the product, we make sure that it's wrapped correctly. It's in a bubble wrap bag that goes out so it's safe when it arrives to you, to the pet parents across the United States. And you see, usually it's not this many. And it's and they said that one day we'll be waking up to, orders that are unusual for us. And this is unusual to wake up to this many orders, but it's not unusual in the sense of what we are doing is bringing an alternative wellness to pet parents across the United States. Yeah, usually I could actually place all these orders across my table here where I fill them. And today I can't even get them all across my table, which is really, really exciting for us, because it just means that that's that many pet parents that actually are being helped. And that's our whole goal, is to help pet parents across the United States have an alternative choice to their pet's wellness. Because before, what we were doing, what were your choices? Is, go on the internet, try to find some homemade things that maybe you might be able to do, or call your vet, hope that they can have you in today, or make an appointment with your vet. And sometimes it's simplest little things, from diarrhea to constipation. Maybe they're not eating, their stomach, their GI tract's off. Or one of the biggest one we see all the time that we just sell over and over and over for pet parents is one that fights fungus. Fungus is a big problem inside of our pets. Um, as humans and as our pets, we all have fungus. It doesn't matter whether we're a human or a pet or whatever we are, but yeast inside of our systems is so important. It's a balancing. It's like we need yeast, but what happens at times is our body's off balance. That yeast sometimes gets an opportunity to grow and expand, and the next thing you know, our pets get all this fungus issues. And a lot of times we start to notice it by the smell in their ears and by the smell in between their paws. Maybe they're scratching a lot, maybe their skin's super red. So there's all these different identifiers of what you can identify in your pet to see what's going on with your pet just by just watching them. And yeast is one of the we find is like one of the number one things out there a lot of people suffer with. And a lot of people go to their uh, their vets and they get Western medicine, and it's not an easy thing to fix. It's like I always tell people, like think about athlete's feet. Have you ever had it? I have, and I can tell you exactly where I've had it and how long I've had it, and it keeps coming back, and I fight it all the time. And this is what we are doing. So, hey, Pollywood's Pet Spa. Oh my God, you guys will love our formula. So our website is healthypawsherballabs.com. It's Healthy Paws Herbal Labs. I'm trying to think an easy way for me to show that to you. So let me see what I have here. Hold on, you guys. I'll just get another one of my stickers here. The thing is like and I think with Instagram, it kind of comes backwards. So you have to kind of look at this backwards, but it's healthy. So imagine this backwards, healthypawsherbalabs.com. And that's where you can find us. Okay. You can always shoot me a DM right here, Polly, and I'll get back to you. But yeah, it's healthypawsherbalabs.com. And so what I'm going to do, and it's funny because I'm looking at all these orders and they're in front of me. I mean, you guys have to see this right now. Look at this here. I'm going to just take this real quick. I mean, look at this. This is just orders going out today. So it's really exciting to see this because it just means that many more pets are being helped across the United States. And, Polly, you're saying you're a pet spa. We do work with independent pet owned companies. People can actually, you can see back here, Polly, this here is actually our display that goes inside of pet stores, in pet stores. And so people can actually scan these codes on the front, find out all about the formulas. And this is our pet store display or our pet service display. We have groomers that have our pet line inside of their grooming, because groomers, one of their favorite things they love, and I'll bring this one out here, is oops, do that just there, is we have this formula called No More Drama. And this is our No More Drama formula right here. And this is our calming. So how many pets do we see? How often do we see pets that are so nervous of going to the vet, going to the groomer? All of this is traumatic for them. Even the car ride there sometimes can be very nerve-wracking for them as well, where they're just like, oh my God, my pet, just hates the car ride. This here is an all natural, it's all Eastern Chinese medicine. It's all natural herbs. You give it to them 25, 30 minutes before you leave the house or before their appointment. And by the time they get to their appointment, they're just chill. And what's nice about this compared to Western medicine is a lot of the Western medicine that people use by their vets, that are given to them by their vet, is usually ones that are like a narcotic. maybe like a gabapentin. There's several different ones that is given for pets for their anxiety. Well, all of those take away their motor skills. And so a lot of times you'll notice that even with your pet, if you give them one of those, they'll kind of be like, whoa, where am I? And all that. That's the beauty about this. This has no narcotics, no drugs. We don't add anything to this. This is all organic, it's all holistic, and it's all about natural calming to the system. It just works with their system and naturally calms them down. So this has been a game changer for so many people across the United States, with so many pets that have had anxiety, separation anxiety. We saw a lot of this during the pandemic when pet parents would, when they went out and everybody got pets during the pandemic, and they were there with their pets and they were holding on to their pets every single day, and they're right next to them and all this. And then all of a sudden after the pandemic, this is one of the loudest things that we saw out there with the pets, was the fact that after the pandemic, the pet parents started going back to work. Well, a lot of these pets were babies. We call them pandemic puppies. And so they were coming into the world in this environment that was new to them. And they were with their pet parent 24/7, right beside them everywhere they went. And because they didn't go very far because they were in lockdown. And so these pets had this relationship with their pet parents that was like with them 24/7. And then all of a sudden the pandemic happened. And then after the pandemic started ending and everything started opening up, pet parents started going back to work. Well, this pet's like going, where's my mom? Where's my dad? Oh my God, I'm alone. So it caused them anxiety. It also, once they started getting outside more and more themselves, they had social anxiety, because during the pandemic, it wasn't that you just brought your pet to a pet park and then all of a sudden they got to run around with hundreds of other pets and become friends with 100 other pets. You were pretty much isolated. A lot of those places were even closed. So this here was just a huge savior for those pets, and people still use it for those pets because they still have anxiety. They still have separation anxiety. So check this out. Okay. So if you guys have a question, please drop it down in the chat. I'm going to go over to let's see what's going on over here. All destinations. Great. Okay. Yeah. So if you have any questions, feel free to drop it in the chat. I'm going to be checking the chat. I'll be happy to answer your questions. If you have a health issue about your pet, you have a question about one of our products, we have 9 products that we sell every single day. And so we've talked about no more drama. And what I'll do is, as I start to unpack these and get these ready to be packed, we'll start describing what they're there for, how they work, and the benefits of each one. So no more drama. This is great. Once again, visits with the groomers, visits, even like families coming in for a holiday to your home and your pet's not used to them yet. This is great to help calm their nerves for that as well. Vet visits, and even, oh my God, you guys, I love it. Hey, Mr. Massimo. Hi. Massimo is my dear, dear love friend in Italy, and he's online right now on my other device, and it's just so nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. How's Italy, Massimo? How's the weather? So let's continue on with this, and we'll see what Massimo has to say. But anyway, so the no more drama is a great solution for even fireworks. We find that we run low on this if we don't sell out during fireworks. And we also sell, one of the things that people kept asking us was like, well, what about when I travel? I'm afraid to bring my whole bottle with me. I don't want to take it on the airplane. They may take it from me. It is under the ounces, so it is able to go through customs and through baggage check. But if you have that fear, we actually have this, which is called our No More Drama travel sizes. And so this actually, what we did here to help the pet parents when they're going to the airports, is that they would go ahead and they would bring these, and these are pre-filled. So these are pre-filled 3 milliliters, and depending on your pet's weight, this could be one dose or this could be several doses. And it's all based on your pet's dose weight of how much you give them. So this is called our travel size and soon to be our hotel pet package as well. The other thing that we did with this, when we created this travel size of No More Drama, I wanted to do something by giving back to our industry, to our pet partners that are out there saving our pets every single day. So what we did is what we created is we created this pack here. And this pack here is called our new pet parent kit. And this has not only the No More Drama, but it also has our poo-poo problems, which is our diarrhea formula. And so what we do is we donate these. In fact, I'm going to be doing an unpacking, I think, in this next week with Marley's Mutts, because we just shipped out a whole package of these to them with a few other things for their own use. And every time someone goes in Marley's Mutt, they're a rescue. They're here in California, and they rescue pets, and then they go ahead and people come and have a new pet parent. They become a new pet parent by rescuing one of their pets that they've rescued and give them a new home. But when they give them a new home, they get one of these packages to go home with. And this serves them really well because it's got the No More Drama, so that the pet's not used to the environment. Maybe they have anxiety over the new environment. Maybe they have anxiety with the car ride from the location to their home. So the anxiety one is fantastic to have to introduce the pet to the new environment if you see that they're having stress. The other big one that we say all the time is pets have a tendency to get diarrhea if you don't change their diet. And when you're rescuing a pet, a lot of times you'll be getting a bag of food from the rescue, and they'll give it to you. And then when you get home, you'll either continue that same brand of food, or you'll start to introduce new food to the pet that you wish to have your pet eat. Maybe you're going to cook for your pet, which is a fantastic idea. That's the best thing you can do, is do homemade food for your pet. So your so this has your No More Drama and your poo-poo problem. So if during that time you're changing their diet, a lot of times they'll get diarrhea. It just happens. Well, if you have your new pet parent kit nearby, you've got your solution right there that you can actually jump in and give this to them immediately. And usually within 2-3 doses of this, of the poo-poo problems, their diarrhea starts to firm up. So we donate this to our rescues out there. We have a pet rescue program. If you're a rescue, you want to join our program, we ask you to reach out to us, shoot us an email. We vet you as much as we hope you vet us and our formulas, because we want to be able to share this with people that really, really care and are really out there making a difference. So our pet parent program it's not the easiest program to get into, but once you're into it, you're going to love it, because you're going to be getting these packages of these new pet parent kits that you can give out to all the new pet parents adopting pets from your facility. So all our formulas are for cats and dogs, domestic animals, and we do custom formulas. We have a client that has a pet store on the East Coast, and she has horses, and she was having, I'm trying to see if I have it around here. Maybe I don't right now. She was having an issue with her horse with stable fright. The horse would get nervous with the noises inside the stable and all that, and it was always just really shy. And so we did a custom formula of our No More Drama for her horse. And today she says she's had the best relationship that she's ever had in her life with her pet. So it's just amazing how our formulas work. And so I just bringing Massimo back into the conversation, you guys. He's in Italy. It's raining there. It's actually warm here, Massimo. It's so nice. The last couple of days, actually, when I get done doing the live and filling all these orders, we will be heading to the beach just to get out of the house and just to enjoy the beautiful weather that we're now getting here in California. So, okay, so now I've got to pay attention here, you guys. You guys are with me, hang in there. Any questions, once again, please feel free to jump in and ask any questions. We are live here on Instagram, on our Instagram page, and we are also live on the Pets Journey on YouTube. There, I have moderators that can help answer questions or bring your questions to my attention. So, either way, wherever you guys are, please feel free to ask questions. That's why I'm doing this live. I was just super, super excited to wake up to so many orders that we're helping so many pets. So let's start working on it. So the first thing I do is I start to look at what formulas are we needing. So I just go down the thing. So the first formula is EAT. And this is our EAT formula. And our EAT formula, this is our appetite stimulant formula. So if your pet is having gut issues, and a lot of issues start at the gut, you guys. So if like diarrhea, constipation, there's so many things that is affected by the gut. An unhealthy gut is an unhealthy pet. So we really want your pet to have the best um, system possible. So you want to have a healthy gut. One of the things is on Tuesday night, Pacific time at 6 o'clock, I do a channel with Pam, and she is with Perfectly Pets. And so we talk about felines a lot. That's her arena that she works in. And so we talk about cats. And one of the things we talked about too, just this last couple of shows, and we do it every Tuesday night. So your guys are welcome to join us. Always feel free to join us. We love you guys there. We love your questions. Anything we can do to help you guys, that's what we're here for. So EAT is to help balance their gut. Maybe you have a pet that is in their golden years, okay? And we help so many pets in their golden years. And this is one of the best things that I love to see, is how many times we can take a pet that's in their golden years that's not doing well and actually change their whole environment just by getting them a wellness package and getting them onto a really tight wellness regiment, so that they are, having a healthy gut, they have a strong immune system. And we'll get into that because we'll be packing up some of those products as we go. And this is actually one of the products that I see all the time that pet parents reach for in their golden years, and even towards end of life. A lot of pet parents reach for this because that's one of the things that we see a lot with pets, is when they hit that stage, which we all do as humans, as pets, and we hit that end of life stage, our appetite seems to decrease and decrease. Well, we need that nutrition. So this here actually helps increase their appetite, so that it is building that, that need to maybe eat something or eat more than that they're going to. And that just helps with the nutritions inside their body and keeping their immune system strong. So this is actually a really good formula. So we've got an EAT going out here. So we're going to put this one here. So this is what I do. I just go down the line here, and I just pick out, the formula that we're getting ready to do. It comes from our, we pack it up before. So the next one we're going to do is yeast. Okay, yucky fungus. I touched on this earlier, you guys, and this is one of our top sellers. And I'm not saying that because, like, oh my God, this is our top seller and how exciting. No, what that means is that we are helping so many pets with their yeast issues inside their systems with this particular formula called yucky fungus. This is just an incredible formula that helps get rid of that. And many people, you'll see that you'll smell between their toes, you'll smell in their ears, you'll smell all over the place in their body, even like their underarms. Everything smells, and they say it smells kind of like corn chips, and that's likely yeast. So that's why we are discussing this today, is yeast. Hey Casey, good to see you. Reynolds, I see Lana Reynolds, Lane Reynolds. Hello, welcome everybody. So yeast, this is really important for me to discuss this because a lot of people don't understand about yeast. Okay, yeast is one of those things. I'm just actually going to grab my chair here, you guys, because I didn't realize I was going to be talking so much. I thought I was going to be packing, but I just get into this, and I just want you guys to have all the tools in your toolbox and understand how to use your tools. Our yucky fungus, we say minimum protocol to use this is 30 days, twice a day for 30 days minimum, sometimes 3 times a day. Okay. It's so important to follow the instructions. I've had I've had some clients buy our formula, and in 2 weeks, they look at their pet and their pet's doing so much better, likely because it's a light case of yeast. Okay. That they're like, oh, my pet's better. Let's stop. I mean, how many times have you done that? I've done that with my doctors, or my doctor has given me a prescription and says, Michael, complete your prescription. And I'm like, okay. And halfway through, I'm like, okay, I'm tired of taking these pills and I don't take it. Well, that's not what that's about. We have to complete it, or at least follow the protocol so that we do get healthy. Yeast hides out. Yeast hides out inside of our system. And it's not, you know, our pets, they're miserable with yeast. And if your pet has yeast and you're not doing anything about it to help them, you've got to like put on the big parent pants and really start helping your pet, because they're miserable with yeast. So this is yucky fungus. So I'm going to go ahead and put this one over here. And one thing we do too, and I'm going to bring this other one here. So this, along with, oops, sorry guys, there you go. Along with our yucky fungus, we always recommend, if your pet is really having a really hard time with yeast, and it's been going on for quite some times, there's things that trigger it, and one of the big things is allergies, seasonal allergies. That is just so hard on our pet's immune system. Their bodies start to, produce histamine to kind of go out and, attack the allergies that are going on. But all that is causing all this other chaos and imbalance inside their system. And so the other formula we recommend is our itchy scratchy. That's this guy right here. And so that's itchy scratchy. And this is for allergies. So if your pet just has allergy, you can just use the allergy formula. And so, but together, these are like two little warriors that go to work inside your pet's body that helps fight the yeast. And remember, minimum 1 month, minimum. That's not to say that's going to be the end all. That's just the minimum. Because yeast is like, just always think of toenail fungus. Have you ever had toenail fungus, or maybe athlete's feet? How hard it is to get rid of it. We're dealing with the exact same thing with fungus in pets. So just wrap your head around that thought, and how difficult it is for us to get rid of that in our pets and that in ourselves. And then that's how really hard it is to get rid of the yeast issues inside of our pets. So minimum 1 month yucky fungus. If it's really, really intense fungus that they have, add itchy scratchy to the combination, and have two warriors fighting it at the same time. So that's our itchy scratchy. And with our itchy scratchy, we haven't had this. I'm going to grab one of these behind here. We haven't had this for a while. We've been out, and we just got this back in stock. And I don't know how long we're going to have this in stock, because this is one of our more difficult formulas to make, because it's so balanced with all the herbs, and everything has to be just perfect, and just the climate and everything when we make it, everything has to be just spot on for us to make this. And this is called our itchy scratchy topical balm. Okay, and this here is for the topical, because when our pets have issues like allergies or fungus, you'll see they have red spots, or just redness underneath their arms or in their ears, or just all over their body. Well, this will help relieve the scratching on the skin. So this is an external product used externally on the pet's skin in those places that they have hot spots. One of the things you want to do is, if they do have hot spots, take a look at it. Take a really close look at it. Sometimes some dogs and cats, they'll get so irritated with it, is they'll lick and they'll lick and they'll lick, and next thing you know is they'll be missing hair from here, they'll be missing here, and those are called hot spots. So this is great for those areas to help relieve the irritation that's going on there and give their skin a chance and the follicles to actually start growing back their hair. So this is new. It's back on our website. We've had it in the past. This just came back on. Once again, we are talking about those warriors. If we're fighting yeast, yucky fungus, internal itchy scratchy, and now external itchy scratchy balm allergy relief. Okay, these three together. In fact, we even have a special on our website. So if your pet has yeast and you want to really tackle it and just get them in a healthy spot, we have Licks and Love, and it's a bundle down at the below all our products. We have three bundles. One's golden years, one's new pet parent, and the other one is Licks and Love, and this one is Licks and Loves. And so you'll save additional. Basically, you end up basically getting the third product free when you do the bundle. So be sure to do the bundle if you're going in that direction to help your pet with yeast. Okay, once again, cats, dogs, all our formulas. This is real interesting, you guys, to know. All our formulas are human grade. So you can actually take these yourself if you wanted to. They're all human grade. So we laugh here inside the office and we say, made for pets, tested on humans. And it really works really well in all forms of applications with our pets. And I had one lady once that she had got a new pet, and this is just right after the pandemic, and she got the No More Drama, and she rescued the pet. But the pet, every time she would have her grandkids or her great grandkids over, would go through all this anxiety because there was so much noise and so much activities you can imagine. And she said she had tons of grandkids and great grandkids. And so every time they would come over, they would just, the poor little dog would just be stressed out. So she got our No More Drama. And it was really cute. She had called me up after, probably about a month after, and said to me, "Hey, I can't believe what your formula has done for my little guy. He's friends with my grandkids and my great grandkids." And she goes, "I have a question for you." I'm like, "What?" She goes, and we've become friends. I become friends with so many of our clients. We sit there, we talk on the phone for hours. If something new comes up with their pets, they call me up and they're like, "Hey, Michael, this is going on now. What's your thought on this?" And we try to troubleshoot what might be the best procedure or best tactic. And just know I get a little distracted because I'm looking at two different chats here. So I'm trying to keep up on both chats. So if I don't get to you, just hang in there. And if you see that the chat is scrolled and I still haven't gotten to you, just please resubmit your question, because I would definitely want to be able to answer everybody's questions while we're doing this. But so anyway, so she called me and she's like, "Michael," she goes, "I can't believe how well this has worked for my little guy and bringing my family together, and my grandkids and my great grandkids are just, they're all getting along so well." And I go, "Well, what's your question?" She goes, "I know this is going to sound crazy." She goes, "What do you have for me?" And I'm like, "Well, what's going on with you?" And, it's not that our doctor, Dr. Kyle, our partner, he's the formulator of all our formulas. He's a mastermind behind Eastern Chinese medicine. He went to school. He's an Eastern Chinese doctor, and what he knows about the Eastern herbs is just amazing. And so it doesn't stop with just pets. He does humans all day long. That's his primary work is working with humans. He's an acupuncturist, and he does Eastern herbs for humans. And so he, mixes all these custom formulas. And so back to the lady, I said, "So what's going on with you?" She goes, "Well, with all my grandkids and my great grandkids, they come from different states, and they're always bringing me different colds, and I'm getting these little colds." And then she goes, "I'm 83 years old, and my immune system's not what it used to be." And I'm like, and just haphazardly, I was just joking with her. I'm like, "Well, you need our Forever Young." And that's this one here. It's our longevity. It's our forever young. And she, like I said, it's an immune booster and it will boost your immune system. And she goes, really? She goes, I want one. And I'm like, really? And I go, it's human grade. You could take it. So she bought one and she called me up, once again, like a month later saying, Michael, she goes, I can't believe it. She goes, I've been taking it twice a day. And I just love it because I'm not getting sick like I used to get sick all the time with all these little colds. And it's because her immune system's stronger. I personally, I take this in pill formula, and I take this daily, and it just, this last, winter, we're almost out of winter, I think soon, now that the weather is getting so warm here, is I started taking this, what, 6 months ago in pill form, and I haven't really gotten sick, you guys. And all I can say is like it has to be because my immune system is able to fight off a lot more. Now, is it just because I eat well or all that? Maybe, but I have bronchial asthma, and usually during the wintertime, I get taken down once or twice. And so far, knock on wood, I've been good. So Eastern herbs are just amazing for not just for our pets, but for us as well. And it's something that, you know, in today's time with all the pollution that we're dealing with all the, look at what just happened here um, with the fires here, all that in our atmosphere, down at the beach, you can see all the pollution coming up and just, tearing up our beaches right now. And it's just like all that stuff is in our air right now. So the more that we can do to keep ourselves healthy and safe and our immune system boosted, the better. And the more organic that we can go with our our medical or wellness practices, the better for us. Because a lot of times, what we're talking about with our Western doctors, we I never say like, oh, get rid of your doctor. You know, we don't need our doctor. No, no, no. We need our doctor. Our doctors are so, so important for us. It's like, they're part of our team. So, just like vets are a part of our team for our pets. So we definitely need both our human doctors and our holistic doctors for us, and then for our pets we need the same thing. We want our wellness doctors that believe that, do all the stuff like we do in the holistic world, and we also need our vets. It's about building the right team for your pet, so be sure to have your team in place always, because you never know who you're going to reach out to next, and you want them on speed dial basically, especially if you care for your pet as much as we do. So we're here for you. Yeah, in fact, Massimo just said it on my YouTube right now. He's like, I need forever young. I get older and older. Yes, yes, yes. In fact, I did send some to Massimo. So I don't know. Are you out, Massimo? Let me know. Let's see what we can do to get you some. But yeah, no, it's amazing how it works. It's just amazing how our formulas work. So let me continue on. Okay, so our next one, they want the eat. So there's another eat, and you'll see that people will be ordering a lot of the eat, a lot of the yucky fungus. The Forever Young is another big seller of ours. All I'm doing right now, you guys, is I'm just laying out the orders as they're ordered so I can actually get them ready for shipping. Our next one is going to be, here is Itchy Scratchy. Yep, so they ordered an Itchy Scratchy. Okay, let's go here. Next one is another eat. Get another eat out for that. Yeah, it's really, really beautiful. And people ask me, let me get my thing here. Okay, there we go. So people have asked me, like, how did you come across this? What made you decide? So it just fell in here. How did you decide to get involved with the pet world? So we have a question real quick. No one. Hello. Do we have anything for cats? Everything's for cats and dogs. So all our formulas we're talking about today is for your cats and your dogs. So our Itchy Scratch, all our formulas, cats, dogs, domestic pets, and even horses. We deal with horses as well. So when I'm talking about our formulas, I'm talking about our formulas for pets, for your cat or your dog. So, so how did I get started into this? Well, back in the year 2004, how long ago? Almost, God, 21 years ago. That's how I got started. 21 years ago, I was in my office, and an assistant that used to work with me called me up one day and said, Michael, um, there's this company and they're a pet rescue. It was called Paws for the Planet. And they're doing this big celebrity event in Malibu to raise money. And they don't, they don't have someone like you. And I've been telling them all about you and about you doing events and design and all that. And I told them all about you, and they would love to meet with you because it's a big event and they're doing it themselves. And so she asked me, she goes, would you be interested? And I said, of course I would. Get pets. I would love to help pets, of course. So I met them the next day and went to a conference room, and how the universe is kind of crazy too. This was a weird one, a strange one for me. Is like when I went to this conference room, I looked at the end of the table, and all of a sudden the girl sitting at the end of the table, she was probably in her mid-20s at this time. And I looked and I'm like, Whitney? She's like, Michael? I'm like, Whitney? And we had known each other probably from 15, 20 years earlier. And she was like, maybe not 20, probably about 10, 15 years. Let's go there. And she was like this tall. And I knew her parents. I used to work with her parents when I lived in Missouri. And so it was like one of those crazy things where all of a sudden we became back in each other's life, the circle of life. You never know when that's going to happen, but we all see it every once in a while. It just all of a sudden, boom, there we are. We were crossing paths again. So there it was at her parents' house, which was in Malibu, which is a fun story. Her parents bought the house that Dodi Fayed was buying for Diana before she was in the accident. And so they actually picked it up from that. They ended up buying it instead of Dodi after Diana's death. But anyway, so it was at their house in Malibu. The house is actually spectacular. It's beautiful. It sits right on the bluffs. And it wasn't affected in the fires, which was great. But it had like where you drove in on PCH, you drove down to the beach, you came back up the mid-level from PCH level was where the house was, and then there was another road that went up to the top bluff, and it overlooked the whole Pacific Coast ocean, and it was just beautiful. And so it was this beautiful property, and so the event was there. And I share how the property is because you got down, you got middle, and you got the top, and it was this big property. And I was like, oh my God, this is going to be a big event. And there's all these different areas that we're wanting to be inclusive of the event. So I started thinking like, how am I going to design this to be cohesive in what we're doing? And one of the really cool stories about this, and I'll just continue with this story because it is a really fun story while I pull everything that I'm pulling right now, is the event was in Malibu at their property, Pacific Coast Highway, and one of the sponsors of the event was Fifi and Romeo. Now, Fifi and Romeo, which I did not know up until this moment, was the designer. Her name was Yana Surskin. She was the designer on the movie Legally Blonde with Reese Witherspoon's and the dog. And so she created all the clothing for Reese, the dog carrier, the dog clothes for Reese. So all this was created by Yana and on the show, and it was such a success that she actually opened up a store in Los Angeles called Fifi and Romeo, which was on Beverly Boulevard here in Los Angeles, right by the Grove. and she was selling all these clothes. And she was the first one to market with the carrier, with the dog clothes and all that. And we're talking about dog clothes that were like cashmere sweaters, and the girls' outfits were cashmere. Paris was there. All the stars at the time. That's where they were going to get their pet products and their clothing and their dog carriers. And so I met Yana, and so she was one of the sponsors of the event. Remember, this is back in 2004, you guys. This is 24 years ago, 25, wait, no, 21 years ago. Yeah. Yeah, 21 years ago. This is a long time ago. And here she was doing the pet, carrier and the clothing and all that before anybody went to market with it. So she had this incredible store, Fifi and Romeo. So what I did is I designed the whole event after her store, and it was very Parisian, very French. And you could even go on to Getty Images and put in Pause for the Planet. And I think they have like 15 or 20 images there, and you can actually see the images of the event there. So anyways, I designed the whole event after Fifi and Romeo. And I'm the out of the box kind of designer. Just, I love just bigger is better, and just, louder is everything. I just like everything. Wow. I like to create the wow effect. So when people walk in, they're just like, wow, where am I? It's just that, events, just like weddings. When I do a wedding, it's like, I want the weddings to have that wow event. So when people walk in, they won't forget that wedding. So during the event, going back where I started on looking for something different, was at this event, 2004, 2005, maybe around there. And during the event, I started visiting with all the pet parents and the rescue team and all this. And I was nowhere inside the pet industry at all at this time. I had pets, I love pets, but I just wasn't inside the industry. I'm a designer, I'm a creative artist, I do art, I show at galleries. That's my life. And so here I was, immersed inside of this incredible event with all these pet parents, and it was all about pugs. There were all these little pugs. That was their rescue, was all around pugs. And there was one thing common I kept hearing. God, I take my pet to the vet. It's Western medicine. It's chemicals. It's narcotics. It's steroids. I wish there was something better. And I'm like, being a designer, doing events, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go out and I'm going to find someone that's doing something outside of Western medicine that's an alternative for pets. Remember, year 2005, let's say, okay? And so after the event, and there's a fun little story about after the event as well, I'll share with you guys too. After the event, I start looking, and I start looking, and I start looking. I found a little this, a little that, but nothing at all was out there. There was really no alternative wellness for pets anywhere in the market, anywhere that I could find. And I was just getting really like frustrated, because I thought, what I would do now that I've done my first pet event, I'll start letting rescues know that I'm available, that I would help them with their events. So then I can start bringing in these people, but there was no one to bring in. There was nobody out there at that time. And so I was like, And so I said to myself, I said, you know what, Michael, this is going to be your mission. Let's make this the mission of yours. Let's create an alternative wellness for pets. So that started it. I started looking, I started talking to different people. I started talking to different doctors. I started talking to a lot of different people inside the pet wellness market, or just, veterinarians were just barely starting to step in the world of being holistic with pets or looking at alternative things. And so I just looked, and then probably around 2013, 14, we all saw the CBD craze. Everybody was coming in with CBD. And that was probably the first time that we really saw anything that was really directed towards pets, where all of a sudden CBD for your pet, CBD for your pet. It helps with this, it helps with this, it helps with this. And so I would go to all these different events. And then at that time, um, I was looking at all the different CBD stuff out there. And the thing about the CBD for me, and this is my personal feeling about it, was that you would look at the bottle and it would say, oh, helps with anxiety, helps with pain, helps with this. And so this one little bottle was helping with so many different things. It was a little too good to be true for me. I was looking for something that was more targeted for pet wellness. And so I decided, well, I'm not going to stop here. I'm going to continue on and I'm going to continue my mission. And at that time, um, I was I received a phone call from Bravo, and Bravo called me and asked me to be on the Housewives with Lisa Vanderpump to launch her foundation to help stop the Yulon Festival in China. And for those of you that don't know what that is, it's, once a year, they actually have a week or 2 weeks or maybe a month, I forget the time frame, where they eat dogs. And so when Bravo called me and they explained to me what it was about, I was gripped by the story I heard. I was just like, oh my God, you gotta be kidding me. And I was unaware of this, once again, not being inside the pet industry or the pet world so deeply. I had no idea this was going on in China. And I was like, when I heard this, I was just appalled. And I was like, this is ridiculous. And so they asked me if I would be on the show. I designed the event for Lisa and launch it with her at her restaurant here in West Hollywood. Um, um, Pump. It was on the corner of Santa Monica and Robertson. And so, sure enough, I was on The Housewives with Lisa. You can see me on the show. It was fun. I designed, these big, really big, beautiful poodles out of foam and flowers to look like poodles. They were so, so beautiful. They were really cute. That was our entrance to our event. And during the event, once again, I started talking to pet owners, and the pet owners were like going, God, I wish there was something else than Western medicine. I put my pet on, I take my pet to the doctors for, you know, allergies. They give me steroids. It works kind of, for a few weeks, 3 weeks, and then all of a sudden it stops working and I have to go back in, get another shot, more pills and all this, and steroids and steroids and steroids. And so steroids, once again, it doesn't get to the root of the cause. And the goal is like what we want to do is we want to get to the root of the cause. That's what we do today is we get to the root of the cause. And so once again, here I was in an event, pets, parents that love their pets, and hearing this again, I was just like, God, there got to be something better. And so at that time, it was about that time that all of a sudden Serge came into my life and he became part of the mission with me. It's like we started going to all the um, different locations that were having the CBD because we still looked at the CBD, but to me, it was just like it just wasn't the right thing that I felt for that I was looking for internally. In my mind, I saw something like for pain, I saw something for allergies. That's just what I saw. I didn't just see one thing that says it takes care of everything. So I was a little skeptical about it even then. And so so Serge came along, and then Lisa happened to have an event in the park in West Hollywood. And in the event, Serge and I were walking around, and there was, all these different vendors with their tents set up, and there was Dr. Kyle. He was sitting there, and I think he had 3 or 4 boxes at this time. I think it was 3. I think it was allergies, it was calming, and it was pain that I remember. So there was like 3 formulas he had. And I'm like, what's this? And he's like, well, it's Eastern Chinese medicine for pets. And I was like, what? I'm like, where'd you get it? He goes, well, I made it. And he's like, I'm like, well, how did you make it? And he goes, well, so he told me the story about him going to visit. This is back in 2000, I think 16. So now we're talking about, you know, a good 10 years after I started my mission to look for something and not finding anything out there. So now we're like 2016. And so he said that he went to visit his brother in Las Vegas, and his brother's dog had um, hot spots all over her body, raw little hot spots. And she was scratching and itching, and just she had this odor to her. And he's like, oh my God, what's going on? And he asked his brother, and his brother's like, she's got these allergies, and I keep taking her to the vet, and he keeps giving her these steroid shots, and they work for a little bit and then they wear off. They work for a little bit and they wear off. And I keep giving her this, and it's been like a year and a half. I forget the actual real time of that time frame that he had been giving her all these Western medicine, the steroids for her allergies. And he was just frustrated, and she was just miserable. And Kyle then said, you know what? Let me go back and let me make something for you, and I'll send it to you. And so Kyle made the first ever um, that he had come up with was an allergy formula. Mixed it up, sent it to his brother, gave him some instructions, and then his brother called like within a week and a half, and said, Kyle, he goes, she stopped scratching. I can't believe this. It's working. And Kyle's like, wow. And he goes, well, let's continue. Just keep continuing. So his brother continued to give her the allergy formula Kyle sent her. And then a couple of weeks more went by, and then all of a sudden his brother started noticing that the hair in her hot spots started growing back. And that's when Kyle was like, oh my God, I'm onto something here. And let's remind people, like, ancient Chinese medicine is, it's not new. It's been around for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. And when you study it and you start to see, how they've been using it for themselves and their pets and their livestock, to keep their livestock healthy, for their, just the health of their wellness of their livestock. So they've been using this for thousands and thousands of years. So it's not something new. But Kyle's happened to, because he studied it and he went to school for it, he happened to, his brother's dog, he saw his brother's dog, and he just like, well, I do this for my patients, my human patients all the time. Why don't I do this for pets? So he sent it, and it was such a success. He was telling his clients, and, I'm paraphrasing, so I may be a little not 100 accurate, but this is what I remember from Kyle sharing the story so many times, hearing him talk about this, is that he shared it with his clients. One client said, oh my God, my dog has, hip dysplasia or joint issues. His older dog. Can you make something for pain? Sure enough, Kyle made something for pain. They would for his human clients in Eastern medicine, gave it to her, and she came back. She's like, wow, this is amazing how this worked. Same thing again. Another one of the clients said, I have a dog that's just riddled with anxiety. What can you do for her or him? I don't know if it was him or her. And sure enough, he made one for calming, and gave it to her. And once again, it was such a success. So, and I always like to share this story because it's like, remember, I started in 2004 looking for something, and I couldn't find anything out there. I was looking on the internet, I was looking in stores, I was looking everywhere. And every once in a while you see a little this, but there was nothing really out there that was really making an impact on how we're making an impact today with our formulas. So when I saw Kyle and heard his story and looked at his formulas, he had a box of them there, and he's like, he gave me some to take to the rescues I was working with at the time, and I took it to the rescues. And here, Serge and I had, continued our search. And so we took it to our rescues, and the rescues would call us up and say, oh my God, what is this? It works. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so happy to hear that. It's so wonderful to hear that. And so we went back to Kyle, And I had a conversation with him. It was funny because like I always harass him about this is that, I grabbed the box that he gave me and they had a little white label on it. And I looked at it and it was missing a digit to his telephone number on the label. And I'm like, I can, but I knew he was in West Hollywood. It was easy for me to find him. So I went to his office and we started talking. And all of a sudden he's like, you know what? He goes, I've always, wanted, to have a partner to do something with. And he goes, I think you'd be great. Would you be, I would love to be partners and, create a partnership. And I'm like, okay, let's do that. And so Kyle and I created this partnership and we then, went into redesigning Surge's helping redesign all the labels and all that. We redesigned all the labels and all that. And we took the line from 4 products or 3 products. Now we have 9 products and they're all based in Eastern Chinese medicine. And these formulas, once again, these formulas are not new. They've been around for thousands and thousands of years. Kyle just took them and he mastered them and he's tweaked them and just fine-tuned them so they work so incredibly well for our pets. And we just now have a dosage chart for the pets and all that. And so that's why we always say made for pets, tested on humans. So that's kind of the story of like how Healthy Paws Herbal Labs came about, was the fact that it was all from me starting way back when in 2004 with Paws for the Planet, and Kyle started in 2016 with his brother's dog and creating the formulas there. And I just think, once again, just like how I went to that conference room and saw Whitney there, that I saw her when she was a little girl, and now she's like this grown adult, young adult. It's like the universe has a tendency just to bring us together when the synergy's there, and the like-mindedness is there, and the desire is there. It brought Kyle and I together, and just brought, and has enabled us to now today have this incredible company that we are now helping pets across the US. People are just knocking on our door saying, when you come into Europe, we're working on it. It's a lot of paperwork. We'll be in Europe soon enough, but it's everything is processes with customs and all that. So we're working on being able to bring this to other countries. So if you're in another country and you have a family member visiting the States and you need something for your pets, have them grab it while they're here for now. Okay, so I've been just going down our line here, and I still have probably about another 10 to pull the formulas.
Unknown caller.
Don't know why that is doing that. Okay. In fact, let me just turn that off. I don't know why that was on. Okay, guys, so the next one here, we've got, this is a good one here. Is this one is Can't Poo Poo. So just like how we had poo-poo problems earlier for diarrhea, this is Can't Poo Poo, and this is for constipation. So if your pet's having constipation, this is a fantastic one for your pet. I had this one lady recently, she sent me a picture of her cat, and it was so special. She's like, and she writes underneath the picture, she goes, "You saved my cat's life." She had tried everything that was out there. She had tried everything that the vet had given her. Her cat is 15 and a half years old, and he's in his late golden years, and his system just started like not being able to like have regular bowel movements. And so she, there was, I hate to say this, but her vet even had talked about, if he's so uncomfortable and he's so miserable, maybe this is a time to maybe even think this is, you may want to, take him to a peaceful place, let's say, and I'm like, I hate when I hear that, but that we do have to make that choice sometimes. And so she happened to come across our formula, and that's where she says, you saved my pet's life. She goes, and he's, and his picture's so cute. He's so adorable. And we become friends, and we talk all the time on the phone, via text, and just checking in with him to see how he's doing, and he's doing great. So that's kind of like the Eastern medicine journey that I've been on with pets, and that's how I got started. I got started way back in 2004 or 5 when I did Paws for the Planet, the fundraiser for them, and I started hearing the dire need in pet parents' voices of wanting to do something better, something healthier, something that's not toxic for their pets other than Western medicine. And so the birth of Healthy Paws Herbal Labs. Here we are today, filling these incredible formulas for everything. So like this is like one of our, where is it? Once again here, so here's Ouchie. This is one of the original formulas that Kyle had was Ouchie. He called it Pain. He kept it real simple with the names. It was Pain, Allergies, Calming. And Surgeon and I sat here and we just thought we'd have some fun with the names and just make them just have a fun little buzz to them. So that's where we came up with our names. Like we have Eat, we have Yucky Fungus, we have No More Drama, we have Can't Poo Poo, Poo Poo Problem, Pee Pee Issues, Yucky Fungus, Itchy Scratchy. So it's all fun names, but the thing is that the formulas, they're serious. Our formulas are serious. They get the job done. They do it holistically and all organically. And it's exactly what I was looking for when I started my mission to find something for pets. And it's just been a game changer for pet parents everywhere. And this is, once again, got another one for longevity. And let's see, I've got how many more here? We've got Yucky Fungus again. So if you guys have any questions, let me just see. Antics, what's your question? Where's your question? Antics, if you're still here on my YouTube, shoot me the question again. I don't see your question. I see that you have a let's see here, Antics. Let's see, let me go up here, Antics. Okay, I don't see your question here, Antics. So shoot it back to me, okay? Let's see here. So the last one is Yucky Fungus. One of the things I did in the very early on is like I noticed that a lot of the products that are in pet stores that you give them orally have come with like that little dropper that you squeeze. Oops, sorry guys. That you squeeze and you pull it up and you drop it. I didn't really like the dropper method because I was a little concerned about it being glass. So I found these plastic syringes, and these little clips are like so cool. Look at these clips, right? So you can actually just keep it right with each other like that. And so all our products come with that. And the syringe is plastic. So if a dog bites down on it, they're not going to break it and swallow glass. So I just really, that was one of my things that I really wanted to make sure is like we bring safety at the same time as wellness. The last thing we want dogs or cats chewing on glass. We got that. Okay, I've got 4 more products to pull here. Let's see. We've got another Yucky Fungus, an Eat, a Can't Poo Poo, and an Itchy Scratchy. Okay. Here's Yucky Fungus. Yucky Fungus. Here is Eat. I'm just checking to see if anybody, okay, Eat. Eat. We have Can't Poo Poo and Itchy Scratchy. Can't Poo Poo and Itchy Scratchy. Can't Poo Poo and Itchy Scratchy. Itchy Scratchy. Can't Poo Poo. Okay. So now I've gotten all you see here I've gotten all our formulas pulled. And so now we start packing these up and getting them in the mail and getting them across city, state lines to the pet parents across the United States that are waiting for them for their for their pets. This is like one of the best things you can do for your pets, you guys. If you have a pet that's in their golden years, you want to definitely get them on our longevity. This is the best thing you can do for your pet's health is do our forever young. This boosts their immune system, it fortifies their immune system, it makes them strong, it makes them healthy. It just helps fight anything that's coming their way. So, do the best thing. A lot of people, and I want to say this, I have a channel that I'm streaming to as well called The Pet's Journey. And we were talking about the pandemic. And during the pandemic, Serge came to me and said, Michael, he goes, there's this website called Clubhouse. You might want to get on it and talk about, pets or, talk about design, just to kill time because we were locked in our houses. And so I got on it and I went in and I started talking about my designs and events that I've done, the homes that I've done, restaurants and all that. And then I looked over and I saw this pet area inside the platform, and I'm like, so I go over there, I look at it, and it was there, and it was just like it was a new platform. Everything was just starting up, so there wasn't much there. So I decided, why don't I just start playing here and start, talking to pet parents and talk to pet experts about pets and the best thing that we can do for pets. And so that's where I started the pet's journey. Is I got on there and I started inviting these. I was the host, and I started inviting these guest hosts with me that were, experts in their field. They were nutritionists, they were orthopedic doctors for pets, they were trainers. So I spoke to all these different people, and I had all these different classes on Clubhouse that we would bring in these experts and we talked to them. One of the things, most disturbing things, and this is it, it's called Michael the Pet's Journey. Okay. So you can check that out. If you're not following it, you guys, you want to follow it because you want to listen to the people that are out there that are the experts. And that's who I try to bring on my channel all the time. Okay. Oh no. Okay. So which ones are, sorry, I'm answering the question, guys. I just saw it. She just came back. Which ones are the best to support kidneys? Okay. So depending on what's going on, our best one right that we have here is called PP issue. This supports the kidney area. And remember, you guys got to remember when we talk about Western medicine and how it affects our pets, our cats and our little dogs, their bladders and their kidneys are so tiny. And so for them to be processing all this toxic Western chemicals that are inside our drugs, it's hard on their system. And if they've got chronic issues, they're going to be taking this medication, maybe for the rest of their life. So you can only imagine what it's doing to their system. So, with like our UTI, this is like kidney health support. This right here would be the ones you'd want, but this is all natural. So it's not going to back up. It's not going to build up. It's not going to hurt her kidneys. It's not going to hurt her livers it's all natural. It's all organic. And that's the best thing about going holistic is doing that. And that's actually bringing me back to my conversation where I was talking about this is on the show. This is really, really important to think. Okay. And one thing I'm going to say also to my YouTube followers right now is like, if she can always go, anyone, you guys, anyone's welcome to go to our website. And when you go to our website, on our website, if you go down below the products, you'll see a little section saying, not sure what to do with your pet? Make a free 15-minute consultation with Dr. Kyle. Yes, you guys get to actually talk to Dr. Kyle directly, and he'll make a phone call appointment with you. He'll go over your pet. You'll answer some questions before on that calendar where you set up your appointment, and he'll go over and he'll point you in the right direction to the right formula that we have. And if we don't have one, once again, the beauty is Dr. Kyle's a master at this, you guys, and so he can make a custom formula for you. So whatever your pet's going through, if it's some sort of like, procedure, or maybe they have cancer, a type of cancer or anything like that. We can't cure cancer, but we definitely can help the body support the immune system to help fight it as much as possible. So we do have different ways of treating the pets to maybe extend their life, make their life as healthy as possible. So, definitely take advantage of that. So, oh no, be sure to have her reach out and make a 15-minute consultation, since she has oh, since it's you, yeah. So giving them fluids all the time. Fluids is so important. You got to remember, cats, they need fluid. We all need fluids. Everybody always says, drink water. And you see me over here grabbing my little mixed mango water here. We need it. Our body is so dependent on that. So yeah, water is like so important for our pets. But you know, with that, with the holistic herbs, it's just, what better ways to attack what's going on with us with a natural way of doing it. And so that's what we're so proud about. Our company is that we're all holistic. We're all natural, so it's not harmful. Ugh, I got thirsty there. So one of the things I want to back up and share with you guys, because I love telling you guys these stories. Remember, I was telling you about how I started way back in 2004 on this journey of like bringing wellness to pets, looking for a solution. And so it was then when I met Yana from Fifi and Romeo and designed the whole event after her store and her design. Um, she loved it so much that a week later, after the event, I get a phone call from Yana. She's like, "Hey, Michael, it's Yana." I'm like, "Hey, Yana," and we become friends now. And she goes, "I've got a question for you." And I'm like, "Yeah." And she goes, "Would you want to design a store for us in Tokyo?" I was like, "What?" And she's like, "Yeah." She goes, we're looking at a couple locations right now, and I was wondering, would you want to design the location for us? And I'm like, "Yes, I would love to." And so she goes, "Well, I'm going to have," and I forget his name, "I'm going to have so and so call you on a conference call." So I ended up with my own interpreter, and I actually went to Tokyo and I looked at a couple different locations, found the location, and actually designed a pet store for Fifi and Romeo, with all her products, her clothing, her carriers, and all that in Tokyo. And it was so cute and it was so beautiful because, like, when I was there, and to see these young kids, young girls with their dogs and their carriers and dressed up they're dressed up just like them, and they were just like, they were so excited for the opening of the store. It was just like I was like so excited to be a part of that moment in history, because Yana, she brought this to, the world. Once again, she was first to market with it, with the dog carrier and all that. So it was so beautiful to be there in Tokyo and have this experience. And the crazy thing is, like, when I was in there, Tokyo had this law that once you sign the lease to a property, you had to have the store open within 30 days. So, needless to say, I was doing work all night long here in Los Angeles, working on Fifi and Romeo, and during the day working with my California clients. And so I was like a busy guy then, but it was like so exciting that I didn't feel like I was losing sleep. I was um, just on a wave of adrenaline, working with an interpreter, speaking with them and meeting them via Zoom and all that. And it was just a really exciting time in my life. So it just shows, like, when you set out to do something good for others, and just, have that compassion and empathy for others, and just really want to take care of other people, the universe has the tendency to like to bring things to you that you never expected. And I never expected to be in Tokyo designing a store and hanging out at the fish market at 5 a.m. It was pretty cool, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to wrap up my live today on my YouTube. I'm going to just leave my Instagram going here. So just if you guys have questions, in fact, I'm going to leave both of you guys going. So if you guys have any questions, go ahead and reach out to me. Ask me your questions. I just need to start getting these packed up so that we get them to the post office. um, and get these in the mail to our pet parents across the United States. And one of the things that's really nice also, you guys, about our formulas is our formulas, because they're all natural, they're all organic, they're all holistic. The shelf life for them is a year and a half. So you've got 18 months of shelf life. I mean, most people go through it within a month or a few months, but it's just like it's because there's not a lot of junk added to it. We don't use any preservatives. We don't add anything extra just to make it, last longer. It's just all natural. It's all organic. It's just like just straight herbs. We use glycerin as our carrier, to carry the herbs, but and that's the only thing we add besides the herbs. And it's just, it's an exciting place to be, in the world these days, doing something for our little furry family. Okay, I know what I was going to talk about. I got distracted there. So let's go back here. Remember this? We were talking about bringing experts in from around the world, and I was bringing experts because on the platform I would meet people from around the world. I had Norel. She was in Australia. I had Kirsten. She was in London. I have one of my dear friends, Christina. She's in Liverpool. And I made friends all around the world with all these pet experts. And it was just really, really just, something that I had not expected in my life to be doing. And here I am now, visiting with experts around the world. And one of the experts that I came across, I saw him actually, he was in a room with some other people on, I think on Clubhouse. Was that, or I saw either in a magazine he had written an article, or I saw him in another room, and I reached out to him, and his name was Ryan, and I said, Ryan, I said, hey, my name is Michael, and I would love for you to come on my channel and let's have a conversation. And so he said, grab a bag, you guys. Where is my bag? So, and once again, I was so new to the pet world, I didn't even know who I was really talking to. I just would start reaching out to people just to have conversations, to have lives, to have people learn. And I was learning. I was learning all the time. And then, let's do this real quick for this one. And so, we get to learn all the time. And so my whole thing was that, so I got Ryan, and he said, yeah, he goes, I would love to come on and talk with you and visit with your people inside your room. And so he came on, and Ryan went to school to learn about nutrition for pets. And he happened to be one of the guys that you found in all the pet magazines out there, writing all these different articles about pets. And when I interviewed him, we started talking about how kibble is made. And I paused because when I learned how kibble was made, it was horrifying almost, because kibble's not the healthiest thing for our pets, you guys. And I'm just saying this straight out. We're talking about all our formulas and different formulas that we have and all that, and the longevity. We're talking about cancer. A lot of kibble that's out there, the way it's made, there's an element of it that's carcinogenic because of the process it goes through to become kibble. And by the time it becomes a kibble little pebble, it's kind of like lost a lot of its nutrition and all that. So that's why if you feed your pet kibble, this is not to say, oh, you're a bad parent. No, we just don't know this. It's like what we know and what we don't know. And when we look at the list of ingredients on the back of a kibble bag, you'll see, the top thing will be like rice, chicken, da da da. But down at the bottom, you'll see that they'll add a lot of different additives, nutritional information, additives to the kibble. It's because the kibble doesn't have it, so they have to put it back. They have to make it nutritional somehow, so they add all these additives to it. And some of those are even chemical additives. So you're putting chemicals with chemicals, and it's not the healthiest thing. So, you know, if you have a furry family next to you and you have any questions about kibble, do your research about kibble. I do have one. Um, I have a couple of them on the Pets Journey that you can listen to, and you can um, hear what Ryan says about kibble. And but the best thing you guys can do right now today is start changing your pet's diet. Give them nutritional food. Home cooked food for your pets is the best. Now, I know a lot of us don't have the time, or we don't think we have the time to do this, but it's really not that bad. There's actually I have a room called Home Cooked Food for Your Dog on the Pet's Journey. Check that out. And she talks about how she makes it. And what she does is she cooks it. She doesn't cook it for all her animals. She just cooks it. She was cooking for one of her dogs at the time because he had a lot of health issues. And so she would cook it and she would actually freeze it. So you can actually cook the food and freeze it and have a month's supply of food that's all natural and all organic and all holistic and much and loaded with such incredible nutritional values that are the food that we get inside the stores don't have. And that's kind of like going back to why when I first started talking about our formulas and where we sell our formulas, we sell them inside of holistic, or not necessarily holistic, but independent pet stores. And the reason why we made that choice at this time was because when we met people that, had their own pet store, and they're so invested in their store, and being invested in their store, it's not they're invested in their store, they're invested in you, the pet parent. They're there to help you and your pet win. So when they're bringing stuff into their store, they're looking at nothing but the best products to bring in. I've heard people say, well, they're a little more expensive. Yeah, they're going to be a little bit more expensive because they're bringing in the better of the food for you. But the biggest thing I always hear is like, oh, I can't afford to cook for my pet. I can't, like we hear Just Food for Dogs. We hear all these other companies that, that have come along with freeze dried food and all that. But everybody says, oh, it's just too expensive. Well, think of it this way. This is how I want you to think about it is you get the opportunity to invest in your pet's health now. So if you can switch to a more healthier diet, food plan for your pet, whether it's a cat or a dog, and give them more of a natural food every day of their life, you're not going to encounter the vet bills likely that you're going to if you don't. There was a study where they took 7 labs and they took 14 labs. They did 7 on kibble and the other 7 on home cooked food. The seven labs that were on kibble, all 7 dogs ended up with cancer in their later stages of their life. The 7 that were on home cooked food for dogs, they live long, healthy, average, lives without cancer. It's kind of like if you think about, like for me, it's like I don't know what it is, but every once in a while I crave me a Big Mac. Or not a Big Mac, a quarter pounder with cheese. I just crave it from McDonald's and I have to have it. And I know that it's really not in my diet. It's not what I eat every day and not what I look to put in my system, but there's something in it that I just love it. I love it. I love it. And I have to have it. And I end up, spoiling myself and driving through the drive-through, and I don't stop there. I get a vanilla shake and I get fries along with it and then a quarter pounder with cheese. That's my cheat day. But what's inside of there is not the best nutrition. It's not the healthiest nutrition. So think about eating that same thing every single meal of your life. Well, that's like a lot of people. That's People don't understand that. They'll give their pets kibble and they'll put down a bowl of kibble and they'll feed their dog or cat this kibble for every meal for their whole life. So the nutrition that they're getting is very little. That's only what's in that kibble is what they've added to that kibble. So think about, where do you want to spend your money? Would you rather spend money on feeding your pet something more healthy today and have them live a healthier, longer life with less issues later down the line? Or, you know, feeding them kibble every single day, you're likely going to be facing a lot more health issues later down the line, if you don't mix it up and add stuff along the way for more nutrition, because they need that nutrition. And one of the things that I just learned too, just on our last live, 2 lives ago with Pam, when we're talking about cats, is like our pets, they need to stop after they eat. So don't leave the food down all day long. Their digestive system, remember we were talking about gut health? Gut health is so, so important for our pets. So they need to stop and digest, and then they need to rest, and then they could go back in to have their next meal. Don't have it down all day long, because if you have it down all day long, their stomach, the amino acids and everything that helps digest and all that, it never gets a chance to reset, and it's just a cycle that's going on all the time like this, and it doesn't stop. They've got to stop. They've got to rest. They've got to recuperate, and they've got to balance out their system. So that's one of the biggest things you could do for your pet today is, if you've got your food down in a bowl, just sitting there for them to graze all day long, pick it up. Give it morning, noon, night, however you feed them, but pick it up, give them a chance to digest and relax, and have that downtime for their gut to get back into alignment. And you'll find that your dog or cat will even be healthier. So I just like to, those are the things that I've learned on my YouTube station. I never thought that I would learn so much. Am I an expert? I'm not an expert. I speak to experts all the time. I'm always learning. And that's why I do this channel here, so that you guys can learn as well. And that's why I bring professionals on my pet's journey, so that you guys can learn what the next best thing for your cat or your dog is. And if you have questions, what's really nice is that we talk about this all the time. It's like, we invite your questions to come in so we can talk about your exact issue. So if you have a cat, Tuesday nights we have that class, and then all throughout I bring other experts in. Like, I bring Christina in from Liverpool. She talks about dermatitis, with pets, with dogs and cats. It's like, that's her specialty. She's a dermatologist for pets, and so we talk about that on my channel. So there's so much information out there. There's a whole new way to treat your pet today. Be holistic, be organic with your pet, just like with yourself. Do it for yourself too. Treat yourself to better food. I try to, when Serge and I are cooking, I always try to, like, have it as natural as possible, as clean as possible. Are we 100% successful at that? No. We fall off, you know, the sugar train. We want an ice cream from now and then. That's okay. But overall, if you just really give yourself that healthier lifestyle, just in general, and just have that attitude towards what you do all the time, you will find that you will start to feel better. You'll start to get more energy. You'll start to not get sick as often or have downtime as much as you do. So that's my share today. I do see that I need to jump on get all these packaged up and to the post office. Our cutoff time is usually 3:30 here Pacific time for orders to come in, because you see, with all these orders, we can only move as fast as we can. So to get them to the post office, we want to get these out and in the post office hands, so they're in your hands within a few days. With that, if anybody has any closing questions, please post them right now. I'll look for them. If not, I just want to say, everybody, thank you so much for being here today. Thank you for taking this time, because if you took the time to be here right now, it tells me you're taking the time for your pet, and your pet loves you for that, because your pet can't talk. So we've got to be proactive in taking care of our pets. And that's my goal, is bringing the best wellness to our pets here in the United States, throughout the world. Just, there's no reason not to. Really, there's no reason not to. Okay. Okay, guys, I'm going to go ahead and sign off from both sites here. I want to say thank you, everybody, for being here. Thank you for hanging out with me today. I really enjoyed it.